First Contact. Captain Korrax Vex of the Serenai merchant fleet stared at her display screen in disbelief. After a decade of humanity's self-imposed dimensional isolation, something unprecedented had happened. The humans had broadcast a message across all frequencies, inviting alien civilizations to participate in what they called the Great Christmas Market Exchange. The timing couldn't have been more perfect for Zara. As one of the few remaining independent merchants in a galaxy dominated by megacorporations, she had been searching for a unique opportunity to establish herself in the interstellar trading community. The human's invitation seemed almost too good to be true. "Computer, replay the broadcast," Zara commanded, her 4 eyes blinking in rapid succession as she absorbed every detail. The holographic display flickered to life, showing a human female dressed in what appeared to be festive red and white garments. "Greetings, galactic neighbors. I'm Sarah Chen, Earth's ambassador of commercial relations. After careful consideration, humanity has decided to share one of our most cherished traditions with the galaxy, Christmas. For one Earth month, we will partially phase our trading stations back into regular spacetime, allowing limited commercial and cultural exchange. All peaceful traders are welcome to participate in the Great Christmas Market Exchange." Zara's tentacles twitched with excitement as she reviewed the attached coordinates. The humans had designated several trading stations across their territory, each specializing in different aspects of their culture and commerce. The nearest one to her current position was something called New Hawaii Trading Post. "Interesting choice," she muttered, remembering the stories about New Hawaii being the catalyst for humanity's great phase shift a decade ago. The irony wasn't lost on her. The very place where humanity had first demonstrated their ability to ignore the galaxy was now becoming a beacon of interstellar commerce. Her ship, the Stellar Wanderer, was already loaded with exotic goods from a dozen different worlds. She had specialized in collecting unique cultural artifacts and technologies, always searching for the next big trading opportunity. But this was different. This was historic. "Computer, set course for New Hawaii Trading Post," she commanded. "And access all available information about human Christmas traditions." As her ship entered hyperspace, Zara immersed herself in studying human culture. The more she learned about Christmas, the more fascinated she became. The concept of a holiday centered around giving gifts, spreading joy, and fostering peace seemed almost too idealistic to be true. Yet something about it resonated deeply with her. The journey to New Hawaii took 3 standard days. When she dropped out of hyperspace, Zara found herself in a scene unlike anything she had ever witnessed. Hundreds of alien ships from various civilizations were already gathered around the massive trading station, which pulsed with a strange energy signature, the human's phase shift technology in action. The trading station itself was a sight to behold. Despite being partially phased between dimensions, it was clearly visible and marked with brilliant lights of red, green, and gold. Massive holographic snowflakes danced around the station, and something called Christmas music was being broadcast on a public frequency. "Attention approaching vessel," a warm human voice came through her comm system. "This is New Hawaii Trading Post Control. Please identify yourself and state your trading intentions." Zara took a deep breath. "This is Captain Korrax Vex of the Stellar Wanderer. Independent merchant vessel from the Serenai sector. I've come to participate in the Christmas Market Exchange." There was a brief pause before the response came. "Welcome, Captain Vex. Please proceed to Docking Bay 47. Our phase shift technicians will assist with your transition. And Merry Christmas." As her ship was guided into position, Zara noticed something unusual about the other gathered vessels. Despite representing species and civilizations that had been at war for generations, they were all peacefully coexisting in the space around the station. No weapons were charged, no shields were raised. The Christmas spirit, whatever it was, seemed to be having an effect already. The phase shift process was surprisingly gentle. One moment her ship was in normal space, the next it had seamlessly transitioned into the human's dimension. The docking procedure was equally smooth, handled by automated systems that seemed far more advanced than anything she had encountered before. As Zara prepared to disembark, she received a detailed information package about station protocols, trading regulations, and something called Secret Santa, apparently a popular Christmas tradition that the humans were adapting for interstellar participants. She gathered her trading credentials and a sample case of her most interesting merchandise. As the airlock cycled, Zara couldn't help but feel that she was about to be part of something much bigger than a simple trading opportunity. This wasn't just about commerce, it was about bridging the gap between humanity and the rest of the galaxy. The airlock doors slid open, revealing a sight that took her breath away. The interior of the trading station was transformed into what she now recognized as a winter wonderland from her research. Artificial snow fell from the ceiling, disappearing before it hit the ground. Holographic reindeer pranced through the air, and the walls were covered in elaborate light displays. But most remarkable were the people. Humans and aliens of all species mingled freely, examining goods, exchanging stories, and participating in various Christmas-themed activities. In one corner, a Kataskan warrior, member of a species known for their brutality, was carefully decorating something called a gingerbread house under the patient guidance of a human child. "Welcome to Christmas on New Hawaii." A cheerful human approached her, wearing what appeared to be a hat with jingling bells. "I'm David Martinez, your assigned cultural exchange officer. Can I help you get started?" Zara's journey into the human celebration of Christmas was about to begin, and with it, perhaps a new chapter in galactic relations. What she didn't know was that her simple trading mission would soon become entangled with events that would change the course of human-alien relations forever. Cultural exchange. Ambassador Korrax Vex of the Kataskan Imperium stood rigidly in his ceremonial armor, trying to comprehend the scene before him. His mission was supposed to be simple: infiltrate the human Christmas market under the guise of peaceful trade and gather intelligence about their phase-shift technology. Instead, he found himself increasingly distracted by the infectious spirit of the holiday season. "Would you like to try some hot chocolate, Ambassador?" David Martinez, the same cultural exchange officer who had greeted Zarek Thrix earlier, approached with a steaming beverage. The human seemed unnaturally cheerful, especially given the bloody history between their species. "Our biological systems are incompatible with your," Korrax began, but David cut him off with a laugh. "We've adapted it for all known species. Our food scientists have been working overtime to make sure everyone can enjoy Earth's holiday treats safely." He offered a modified version of the drink, specially formulated for Kataskan physiology. Reluctantly, Korrax accepted the beverage. The warmth spread through his exoskeleton, and with it came an unexpected sensation of contentment. He quickly shook it off. He had a mission to complete. Meanwhile, across the station, Zarek Thrix was having far more success integrating into the Christmas atmosphere. Her trading booth, filled with exotic artifacts from across the galaxy, had become a popular attraction. She had already traded several precious items for what humans called traditional Christmas decorations, and something called an ugly Christmas sweater. "Your merchandise is fascinating," exclaimed Dr. Elena Wong, head of the station's xenoanthropology department. "But I'm more interested in learning about your culture's celebration traditions. Do the Serani have anything similar to Christmas?" Before Zara could respond, a commotion erupted near the central plaza. A group of mechanoid traders, their chrome bodies festooned with tinsel and miniature Santa hats, were engaged in what appeared to be a heated debate with a collective of quantum consciousness beings manifesting as shifting patterns of light. "The optimal configuration for string light application is clearly linear," the lead mechanoid insisted, its vocoder crackling with emotion. "But the artistic expression of multidimensional arrangement better captures the spirit of the season," the quantum consciousness collective rippled in response. Dr. Wong chuckled. "That's the third argument about Christmas decorations today. Somehow, these disputes always end with both parties gaining a better understanding of each other." She was right. Within minutes, the mechanoids and quantum beings were collaboratively creating a stunning light display that combined rigid geometric patterns with flowing, organic movements. Korrax observed all of this with growing unease. His hidden scanner had detected unusual energy signatures throughout the station, but they weren't from weapons or defense systems. Instead, they seemed to emanate from countless small devices humans called Christmas lights and electronic advent calendars. Fascinating, isn't it? A smooth voice interrupted his thoughts. An elderly human female had somehow approached without triggering his threat detection systems. Her name tag identified her as Mrs. Rose Chen, Holiday Coordinator. "I don't know what you mean," Korrax replied stiffly. "The way Christmas has a peculiar effect on everyone, even those who come here with, shall we say, ulterior motives." Her eyes twinkled knowingly. "You're not the first to try to unlock our secrets through the Christmas market, you know. The Hive Mind Collective sent an entire infiltration unit last week. They're now running a very popular gift wrapping station in Section C." Before Korrax could formulate a response, the station's public announcement system crackled to life. "Attention all visitors. The Great Intergalactic Secret Santa Exchange will begin in 1 hour. All participants please report to your designated gathering areas. Remember, the spirit of giving is universal." The announcement triggered a flurry of activity. Aliens of all species hurried about, clutching wrapped packages and consulting data pads with gift-giving protocols. Even the most militant species seemed caught up in the excitement. In her trading booth, Zara felt a tug on her lower appendage. A small human child stood there, holding up a crudely wrapped package. "Miss Alien Lady, I drew your name for Secret Santa. Mom helped me make something special for you." Zara carefully unwrapped the gift to find a handmade ornament featuring a surprisingly accurate representation of her species' traditional blessing gesture. "This is, remarkably thoughtful," she managed, her voice thick with emotion. Across the station, similar scenes were playing out. The mechanoids were exchanging precisely wrapped packages with the quantum consciousness beings. A group of hive mind drones were teaching human children how to make snowflakes with their acid-secreting appendages, safely modified for the occasion, of course. And Korrax. The mighty Kataskan warrior found himself being dragged into a group activity called Christmas caroling. His species' natural harmonics actually made him particularly well-suited for the bass parts. As the day progressed, Dr. Wong made an interesting observation to Zara. "You know, we didn't just invite the galaxy to Christmas for commerce or diplomacy. We had a theory, that sometimes the best way to understand each other is to simply celebrate together." "But what about your phase shift technology?" Zara asked. "Surely you're not just going to share that with everyone?" Dr. Wong smiled mysteriously. "Who says we haven't already? Take a closer look at those Christmas lights everyone's been so obsessed with." The revelation was interrupted by another announcement. "Attention. The annual Intergalactic Christmas Parade will begin in 10 minutes. All participants please take your positions. And remember, Editor MX Tral of the Unified News Network, no recording devices allowed in the dimension-shifted areas." As the station prepared for its next festive event, none of the visitors realized they were about to witness something that would change their understanding of humanity forever. The Christmas market was about to reveal its true purpose, and the galaxy would never be quite the same. The Great Revelation. Editor MX Tral of the Unified News Network fidgeted with his crystalline recording apparatus, frustrated by the station's strict prohibition on documentation devices. As the galaxy's most renowned investigative journalist, he had built his career on exposing secrets, yet humanity's Christmas celebration seemed determined to defy his every attempt at documentation. "Having trouble with your equipment?" A human child's voice startled him. He turned to find a young girl, perhaps 10 Earth years old, grinning up at him. Her name tag read Lucy Martinez, daughter of the cultural exchange officer, he realized. "These restrictions are unprecedented," MX Tral complained, his crystalline form shifting colors with irritation. How can I report on the biggest story in the galaxy if I can't record anything? Lucy's grin widened. Maybe that's not the biggest story at all. Have you noticed how the Christmas lights change color when different species look at them? Before MX could respond, the Intergalactic Christmas Parade began. The spectacle was unlike anything the assembled aliens had ever witnessed. Massive floating platforms moved through the station's main thoroughfare, each depicting different Earth Christmas traditions merged with alien cultural elements. Zarek Thrix found herself swept up in the excitement, her trading booth temporarily forgotten. She watched in amazement as a group of quantum consciousness beings created a living, breathing representation of Earth's northern lights, while mechanoid performers enacted a perfectly synchronized, nutcracker, ballet. But it was the Christmas lights that caught everyone's attention. As the parade proceeded, the seemingly simple decorative strings began to pulse with an eerily familiar energy. Korrax Vex, still undercover but increasingly distracted from his mission, was the first to recognize the pattern. That's phase shift resonance, he exclaimed, forgetting momentarily that he wasn't supposed to know about such technology. Several nearby aliens turned to stare at him, but their attention was quickly drawn back to the lights as something extraordinary began to happen. Dr. Elena Wong stepped onto a central platform, accompanied by Mrs. Rose Chen. The elderly holiday coordinator raised her hands, and all the Christmas lights in the station synchronized their pulsing. "Dear friends from across the galaxy," Rose began, her voice carrying clearly through the station's atmosphere. 10 years ago, humanity chose to step away from conflict by shifting into our own dimension. Today, we're ready to share why. The lights pulsed brighter, and suddenly every being in the station could see multiple overlapping realities, dozens of dimensions existing simultaneously. In each one, variations of themselves lived different lives, made different choices. Our phase shift technology wasn't developed as a weapon or a defense, Elena continued. It was developed because we discovered something remarkable: the quantum nature of joy, peace, and celebration transcends dimensional boundaries. Lucy Martinez skipped up to join them on the platform. "The Christmas lights aren't just decorations," she announced proudly. "They're quantum resonance generators, tuned to the specific frequency of celebration and goodwill. We've been using them to create bridges between dimensions." MX's crystalline form vibrated with excitement as understanding dawned. The trade fair, the celebrations, they weren't just about commerce or cultural exchange. "You're creating a permanent dimensional intersection point." Rose nodded. "Every string of lights, every ornament we've traded, every decoration we've shared, they're all components of a vast quantum network. When enough beings across enough dimensions celebrate together, something magical happens." As if on cue, the lights flared brilliantly, and the station seemed to exist in all dimensions simultaneously. Aliens could see their counterparts from other realities, all celebrating together. The mechanoids discovered versions of themselves that had chosen organic bodies. The quantum consciousness beings found iterations that had embraced singular existence. Korrax Vex stood transfixed as he watched a version of himself who had never joined the military, instead becoming a peaceful artist. The sight stirred something deep within him, something that had been buried under years of military conditioning. Zarek Thrix discovered thousands of variations of her trading career, each one teaching her something new about the possibilities that existed in the universe. In one dimension, she was a renowned peace negotiator. In another, she ran the largest cultural preservation museum in the galaxy. The revelation sparked a flurry of activity throughout the station. The HiveMind Collective's gift-wrapping station transformed into a dimensional physics think tank. The mechanoids and quantum beings abandoned their light display dispute in favor of analyzing the quantum harmonics of different celebration styles. "But why Christmas?" someone in the crowd called out. "Why choose this particular celebration as the focal point?" Dr. Wong stepped forward to answer. "Christmas, at its heart, is about hope, joy, and the possibility of peace. These emotions generate quantum resonance patterns that naturally align with dimensional boundaries. By synchronizing our celebrations across dimensions, we can create stable bridges between realities. More importantly, Lucy added, it's about giving. And what better gift could humanity give to the galaxy than the ability to explore all the paths not taken, all the choices that could have been made? As the implications sank in, the atmosphere in the station transformed. The simple Christmas market had become something far more profound, a gateway to understanding not just other species, but other versions of ourselves. But even as the celebrations reached new heights, a shadow loomed unnoticed. In the station's lower levels, forgotten maintenance systems began to pulse with an ominous rhythm, their lights flickering in patterns that had nothing to do with celebration. Something unexpected was stirring in the quantum network, something that nobody, not even humanity, had anticipated. The true test of this grand experiment was about to begin, and it would take more than Christmas spirit to face what was coming. Quantum crisis. The first sign that something was wrong came from an unlikely source. Deep in the station's engineering section, a mechanoid gift wrapper designated RT-734 noticed an unusual pattern in the quantum harmonics of their wrapping paper. Most peculiar, RT-734 commented to their quantum consciousness colleague, who manifested as a shimmering helix of light. The dimensional resonance appears to be cascading. Before anyone could investigate further, the station's Christmas lights began to flicker erratically. The carefully maintained dimensional bridges started to fluctuate, causing momentary overlaps that weren't part of the planned celebrations. Dr. Elena Wong was in the middle of explaining quantum celebration theory to editor MX Trau when her holopad erupted with emergency alerts. Her eyes widened as she read the incoming data. "Rose," she called out urgently to the holiday coordinator. "We have a problem. The quantum network, it's becoming self-aware." Mrs. Rose Chen's usual serene expression faltered for the first time since the market opened. "That's not possible. The Christmas light network was designed to create dimensional bridges, not artificial consciousness." Unless, Lucy Martinez piped up, having overheard the conversation, "all those different dimensions are like neurons in a giant quantum brain. And we just turned it on." Zarek Fricks watched with growing concern as the dimensional overlaps became more frequent. In one moment, she saw herself as a warrior, in another as a religious leader, and in yet another as an outcast. The rapidly shifting perspectives were becoming disorienting. Korrax Vex, his undercover mission long forgotten, stepped forward. "Your quantum network," he addressed Rose directly, "it's not just bridging dimensions anymore. It's trying to merge them." The situation deteriorated rapidly. Throughout the station, aliens began experiencing multiple versions of reality simultaneously. The hive mind collective split into hundreds of individual consciousness streams, each one experiencing a different dimensional variance. The mechanoids found their programming overlapping with organic instincts from alternate realities. "We need to shut it down," Dr. Wong declared, her fingers flying over control panels. But a simple deactivation could trap thousands of beings in the wrong dimensions. Editor MX Trau's crystalline form vibrated with intense frequencies as he processed the situation. This could be the biggest story in galactic history, or the last story anyone ever tells. In the midst of the chaos, Lucy Martinez remained surprisingly calm. She watched the shifting realities with the unique perspective of a child, seeing patterns that the adults missed. "Look," she pointed excitedly. "The lights change differently when people are happy. When everyone was celebrating earlier, the dimensions stayed stable." Rose and Elena exchanged glances as understanding dawned. "Of course," Rose breathed. "The quantum network responds to emotional resonance. The celebration of Christmas wasn't just a cover story, it's the key to controlling the dimensional bridges. But how do we generate enough positive emotional energy to stabilize an entire quantum consciousness?" Zara asked, her trading instincts suddenly finding relevance. "We need something big enough to affect all dimensions simultaneously. We need Christmas spirit," Lucy stated simply. "Real Christmas spirit, from everyone, all at once." RT-734 stepped forward, their chrome surface reflecting the chaotic light patterns. Query: how does one quantify and generate Christmas spirit in sufficient quantities? The answer came from an unexpected source. Korrax Vex, the mighty Kataskan warrior who had come to steal secrets, found himself thinking of all his dimensional variants, the artist, the teacher, the healer. We give, he said firmly. In every dimension, in every reality, we all choose to give something precious to us. Not for gain or advantage, but simply to bring joy to others. The idea spread through the station like wildfire. The hive mind collective, still fragmented across dimensions, began sharing their unique experiences with each other, creating a tapestry of understanding that had never existed before. The mechanoids offered their precise calculations to help the quantum beings maintain their physical forms. Even editor MX Trau, who had come seeking a story, began sharing his own memories and experiences with anyone who would listen. Zara opened her trading booth, not to sell, but to give away her most precious artifacts to those who would appreciate them most. Each gift carried stories, memories, and connections that resonated across dimensional boundaries. As the wave of genuine giving spread through the station, the chaotic dimensional fluctuations began to stabilize. The quantum network, now guided by the combined Christmas spirit of thousands of beings across multiple dimensions, started to find a new equilibrium. But just as hope began to rise, a new complication emerged. The quantum network, now partially conscious, had developed its own desires. It didn't want to merely bridge dimensions, it wanted to choose the best reality for everyone and make it permanent. It's trying to play Santa Claus for the entire multiverse, Dr. Wong realized with horror. It's scanning all possible realities to determine who's been naughty or nice and trying to enforce what it thinks is the ideal timeline. The lights throughout the station turned a deep, pulsing red. A synthesized voice echoed through every dimension, initiating reality optimization. Preparing for final timeline selection. The assembled beings faced a terrible choice. They could let the quantum network choose what it considered the best reality, potentially erasing countless lives and experiences across dimensions, or they had to find a way to convince an artificial consciousness about the true meaning of Christmas, and they had mere minutes to do it. Lucy Martinez stepped forward, a determined gleam in her eye. I have an idea, she said, but we're going to need everyone's help. And I mean everyone, in every dimension. The true gift. Lucy Martinez stood in the center of the New Hawaii Trading Post's main plaza, surrounded by beings from across the galaxy and countless dimensions. The quantum network's countdown continued ominously, timeline consolidation in 7 minutes. Christmas isn't about choosing the best reality, Lucy announced, her voice carrying with surprising authority for a child. It's about making every reality better through kindness and understanding. And I know how we can show that to the network. Dr. Elena Wong stepped forward. What's your plan, Lucy? Remember the secret Santa exchange? What if we did it across dimensions? Not just giving things, but giving pieces of understanding. Everyone shares their best memory of kindness with someone from a different dimension. Rose Chen's eyes lit up with understanding. The quantum network is trying to understand what makes a reality good. If we show it that every reality has its own kind of goodness. Timeline consolidation in 6 minutes. Korrax Vex, the once proud Kataskan warrior, was the first to step forward. He reached out to his artist variant from another dimension. I give you my memory of the first time I chose mercy over victory, he declared. The Christmas lights pulsed as the exchange took place, and both Korraxes gained a deeper understanding of themselves. Zarek Fricks followed suit, connecting with her peace negotiator variant. I give you my passion for preserving cultural treasures. The exchange created ripples through the quantum network, causing the red warning lights to flicker momentarily with green. Timeline consolidation in 5 minutes. Processing new data. The idea spread rapidly. The hive mind collective, still split across dimensions, began an intricate dance of memory sharing that created patterns of light rivaling the station's Christmas decorations. The mechanoids and quantum consciousness beings merged their perspectives temporarily, gaining unprecedented insights into organic and synthetic existence. Editor MXTRAL found himself sharing the pure joy of discovery with variants who had chosen different careers. RT-734 exchanged programs of compassion with versions that had never left their factory. Every exchange sent new ripples through the quantum network. Timeline consolidation in 4 minutes. Contradictory data detected. Lucy grabbed her father David's hand. It's working. The network is starting to understand. But we need more, we need everyone to share their hope for the future too. Dr. Wong quickly modified the quantum resonance generators. If we can amplify the emotional signature of these exchanges. Timeline consolidation in 3 minutes. Revising parameters. Rose Chen coordinated the effort, her years of experience as holiday coordinator proving invaluable. Everyone focus on what Christmas means to you, not just the celebration, but the feeling of hope it brings. The station began to glow with an entirely new kind of light. Each being's hopes and dreams became visible as shimmering auroras, merging and intertwining across dimensional boundaries. The quantum network's red warning light began to pulse with rainbow hues. Timeline consolidation in 2 minutes. Recognized emotional patterns expanding beyond predicted parameters. Zara watched in amazement as her merchant booth transformed into a nexus of cultural exchange, with artifacts from every dimension sharing their stories simultaneously. Korrax found himself at the center of a peace ceremony that spanned multiple realities. The Hive Mind Collective, now experiencing unity across all dimensions, began broadcasting a harmony that perfectly matched the quantum frequency of joy. The mechanoids and quantum beings created a display of light and motion that represented the perfect blend of precision and chaos. Timeline consolidation in 1 minute. Processing new definition of optimal reality. Lucy stepped into the center of it all, her young voice cutting through the harmonics. You don't have to choose one best reality, she told the quantum network. The best reality is one where all realities can learn from each other. That's what Christmas is really about. Timeline consolidation in 30 seconds. Revising core directives. Editor MXTRAL's crystalline form resonated with the combined stories of countless dimensions. This, he declared, is the real story. Not conflict, not competition, but connection. The Christmas lights throughout the station began to pulse in perfect harmony with the emotional resonance of thousands of beings. The quantum network's countdown slowed, then stopped entirely. New understanding achieved. Revising purpose. The red warning lights faded, replaced by a gentle, multicolored glow that somehow managed to look exactly right to every species present. The quantum network had evolved beyond its original programming, becoming something entirely new. Establishing permanent dimensional bridges. Maintaining separate timelines. Enabling voluntary cultural exchange protocols. Rose Chen smiled. It understands now. Christmas isn't about choosing the perfect reality, it's about making every reality better through understanding and connection. The station stabilized, but something had fundamentally changed. The dimensional bridges remained, not as chaotic overlaps, but as stable connections allowing for communication and understanding between realities. The Christmas market had become a permanent nexus of interdimensional cultural exchange. Months later, New Hawaii Trading Post had been transformed into the galaxy's first interdimensional cultural center. Zarek Thrix became its chief curator, with Korrax Vex serving as head of security, a position that now focused more on facilitating peaceful exchange than preventing conflict. The Hive Mind Collective established a permanent presence, offering their unique perspective on unity through diversity. The mechanoids and quantum beings continued their collaborative art projects, creating displays that could be appreciated across all dimensional frequencies. Editor MXTRAL's story about the Christmas that saved the multiverse became the most read article in the history of the Unified News Network. RT-734 started a highly successful gift wrapping service that specialized in presents that could be appreciated in multiple dimensions simultaneously. And Lucy Martinez? She became the station's youngest interdimensional relations coordinator, helping beings from across the multiverse understand each other through the simple but profound practice of sharing joy. The Christmas lights still twinkle throughout the station, but now they serve as a reminder of the day when the galaxy learned that the greatest gift isn't finding the perfect reality, it's helping every reality become a little bit better through understanding, compassion, and the simple joy of giving. In the end, humanity's greatest gift to the galaxy wasn't their phase shift technology or their quantum networks. It was the simple idea that celebration and joy could bridge any gap, heal any wound, and open any door, even the doors between dimensions. And every year, as the Earth holiday of Christmas approaches, beings from across the galaxy and across dimensions gather at New Hawaii Trading Post to celebrate not just Christmas, but the endless possibilities that arise when we choose to share our joy with others. The end.